Hello and welcome to the show. This is Everything Under the Sun. My name is Ty. I hope all of you are doing amazing out there, loving yourselves, taking care of yourselves, and doing everything you can to fulfill everything that you desire in this life. I spoke on the last episode, and I'm going to make this episode a little shorter. I'm not sure if you can tell, but my microphone actually needs to be replaced, so I'm using the built-in microphone, so apologize about the sound quality if it does sound a little off-putting for you, but all the important details are still here. So as I spoke about in last episode, we were speaking about just this idea of holding space for one another and for ourselves. And in that idea of holding space, there's also that other facet of holding space for other people. And I had mentioned how it's easy for us to hold space for other people. And, we do that so often that we're kind of used to that. But there's also this border, this borderline between helping others and trying to rescue others. And there's really a big difference because we can hold space for other people without feeling the need to rescue them from whatever situation that they're going through. And I'll kind of speak more about this, but really in this idea of holding space rather than rescuing, it's really allowing this person to be everything that they are right now in this moment and love them for everything that's being presented to you from them in this moment. And a lot of times it's really difficult to hold space for someone that's dealing with something that's really challenging. And it's not difficult to hold the space in general, but it's difficult not to want to change that person's situation or the circumstance that the person's going through. And oftentimes it's not bad for us to do that, especially if it's within our means or within our ease of being able to do that. But at the same time, we can't find ourselves getting wrapped up in the dramas of other people. I'd also mention that as you kind of do this work and you're changing yourself, you're changing your habits, you're doing different things, you're maybe associating with different people, maybe you're acting on certain things that you haven't acted on in a while, and it's really causing a rumble in the spaces and the people that you're interacting with normally. Maybe people are asking you, what are you doing differently? Why are you acting this way? Why are you doing this instead? Maybe even criticizing or judging your actions or your change that you've been experiencing. And a lot of times that can bring you to that place where you wonder, you're like, well, maybe is there no point for it? Maybe is there no reason for me to do that? Maybe I should just kind of focus on what other people are telling me I should focus on. But that's also getting wrapped up in other people's drama. That's getting wrapped up in other people's beliefs, and you don't have to do that to yourself. And even as we hold space for others and we find ourselves slipping into that rescue mode where we find ourselves stretching ourselves thin or bringing down how we're feeling or how we're moving because we want to help someone else out of their situation or out of whatever they're feeling or thinking or whatever is occurring in their life. And there's nothing wrong with having compassion for people's situations and the circumstances that people go through. But again, there's that border between holding space for others and also trying to rescue others. So in those times when you find yourself, you're doing this work and you're kind of moving in this place of well-being for yourself and happiness for yourself and, enjoyment for yourself of this life that you're experiencing, and you want others to partake in this as well. So you find yourself holding space and then wanting to help others or speak to others or try to get to know what other people are dealing with so that you can help to rise them up out of that. But that's not your job. Your job is to just live in the joy that you are, live in the love that you are, and of course, give that and be compassionate towards your brothers and sisters that are dealing with heavy things. But you cannot get sad enough to help someone out of depression. You cannot be broke enough to help other people out of financial insecurity. You can't strain yourself and stress yourself out to help others with their anxiety and getting out of difficult situations. The only way that we can help to bring up others around us is to hold that vibration that we are holding within ourselves. That vibration of love, that vibration of moving towards the things that make us feel good, because that inspires others to do the same thing for themselves. And as you've experienced your life and all of the challenges that you've experienced in your life, you know that those challenges and those hardships, they are very much part of your journey. They're very much part of how you ended up being the person you are today. So we can't take that away from someone else. And it's not saying to just dismiss the fact that other people are dealing with things, but again, hold the vibration of where you are at, the joy that you want to have, the abundance that you want to experience and experience it fully as much as possible. And others will see you and they may ask you for advice. They may ask you to help them and guide them in different ways, but that doesn't mean that you have to drop your vibration in order to ameliorate a situation that they're dealing with. Everyone's journey is their own, and you cannot change how someone else is experiencing this life. But you can hold that experience of joy and learn new things and pass off whatever information that comes to you. Of course, do that and give that love and give that compassion and that freedom that you experience as you do this work. Of course, it's amazing to share that with other people, but again, don't find yourself getting so wrapped up in other people's dramas that you're bringing yourself down, that you're finding yourself back in that place where, oh, I don't feel that good. I feel like I'm stressed out. I feel like I'm worried. I feel like I'm taking on these other experiences that are from the people around me. And it's something that happens so easily. I mean, just in therapeutic work in general, self-care is something so important because as you work with other individuals that are divulging very heavy things towards you, there's that transference that happens. There's that feeling of, oh, this is something that relates to me, and then people take it outside of that therapy room. People will move in their life in a lower vibration because of that carrying of these other people's stresses and worries. And again, we can hold compassion. Compassion is love, and love is the greatest strength that we have in this life. So there's no limit to the amount of compassion that we have, but it doesn't mean that your compassion has to lead you back into that pit that you just climbed out of. So continue to walk in your joy. Continue to do this work for yourself. You have to do this work for yourself, and each and every person around you also has to do this work for themselves. All these words that I speak in this podcast, I mean, they may be to aid in helping others to enlighten themselves and move towards their joy and be fearless in that moving towards what feels good for us. But I have no idea what those words are doing as far as impacting your life. And if they do impact your life, that's you doing all the work. These are just words that I'm speaking. If you decide to take these words and do something with them, whether dismiss them or integrate them, that is you doing the work. And each and every person has that job to do for themselves, to do that work for themselves. So give compassion, give love. Yes, give as much as you can. That's just, I mean, your cup is overflowing, and when it starts to overflow, you can't help but give. But don't find yourself emptying your cup to help to fill someone else's. Because I promise you, you're going to miss their cup altogether, and it's going to spill on the floor. And then you're going to find yourself feeling what they're feeling, their cup not any more full, and your cup more empty. So give compassion, give love, give all of that stuff that's overflowing out of you as you do this work, as you move towards your true self. Give those extra things, give that joy, give that smile, give that compassion, but don't take on the troubles and the worries that other people are holding on to. That's not something that you need to hold on to. And there's no way that you can help someone get out of a dark pit if you yourself are finding yourself in that pit. It's from outside of the pit that you can throw that rope down. It's from outside of that pit that they can look up and see you and say, okay, I think I don't want to be here anymore, and I'm going to do something about it. But the decision is always up to other people. It's up to that other person. So give love to yourself through this process. Fill your cup, and it will have no choice but to overflow into those around you. But make sure you're still filling your cup. Because I promise you, by doing that, you are also filling the cup of others around you. You are doing that service that you so long to do. Because if you're listening to this, you have compassion for others. You want to help others. You want to be with others in communion and in compassion and love. So give that love to others. Give it as free as you want to give it. But make sure that stream is flowing within you first, and then allow the overflow to work its way into the world around you. Because that's the most important thing that you can do for yourself, is to fill yourself with that joy and that love and that inspiration and that freedom, and then let others see that light and shine, and know that they are able to do that too. Know that they are able to bring themselves out of that same pit that you crawled out of. They will do that work, but they have to see you thriving in what you are passionate about. thriving in what feels good for you, what brings you joy in life. And they will see that, and that will be how you help them. But don't bring yourself down. Don't change your course of action for anyone else. Continue moving towards the things that you're passionate about. And all the naysayers, all the people that are around you, all the people that are doubting your movements will soon be asking you, what can I do to get out of this situation? What can I do to start moving towards what's passionate for me? And you will sit there and you will give them love. And maybe you'll share some words with them that may be meaningful, maybe not. But either way, your presence of love and compassion and doing what's good for you, doing what feels good for you, that in itself will radiate off of you and will inspire that person and will move that person and will help that person in more ways than you know. So yeah, that's all I got for this one. If you have any thoughts or ideas or anything that you'd like to send in, you can send us to everything.sunpodcast@gmail.com. You can join any of the social media groups, Instagram, everything.sunpodcast, Twitter, @everysunpodcast, and the Facebook group, @everysunpodcast as well. And yeah, that's all I got. Please take care of yourselves. I love you all so, so abundantly, and I will talk to you soon.